Here's Earl Skakel with his final thoughts on the Four Nations tournament. You know, you can't win them all. You also can't leave Connor McDavid in the slot alone. So I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if it was a blown assignment or just Connor McDavid being the best player in the game and ghosting into a perfect area. I mean, the tournament was a smashing success. I think all four nations validated themselves as the four best teams outside of Russia. It's really a shame Russia couldn't be in this tournament. I understand because of the war in the Ukraine and whatnot that they were being punished, and I think they're banned from all international competition, but with the roster that they could have thrown out with Panarin, Kucherov, Ovechkin, Vasilevsky in goal, wow, Bobrovsky. It's a shame that they weren't involved in this. But you move on. In terms of last night's game, I predicted the U.S. would win 4-3 in overtime. I mean, these rosters are probably the two best in the world outside of Russia's. And, you know, both teams wanted it. And it was really, I said this before the game, whoever fucks up the least. It's not whoever wants it more. They both want it equally. And, you know, like I said, you just can't leave the best player in the world wide open in the slot. You can't blame Hellenbuck for the goal. I mean, there's no goalie on earth could have stopped that shot. It was the perfect shot, too. And you have to give credit to Bennington, who stopped Matthews point blank minute previous. So, you know, Bennington played great last night. You know, he played okay in the tournament overall. But, you know, Canada, with that roster, you don't really need a goalie to play great. You just got to survive. But last night, Bennington was great, especially in overtime. He stopped Matthews 2 or 3 times point blank and Tkachuk to the side of the net. Now, I don't know if that goal would have gone in from where Tkachuk shot it from, but still, it was a great save. So this tournament was everything the NHL needed. It absolutely beat the regular All-Star game, which is horrific. And the NHL has a lot of momentum right now. But, you know, the only bad thing to come out of this tournament is really that the level of play was so high quality because of the rosters assembled by all four countries that you can't match that. Like tomorrow night, the Kings... Well, that's my dog. My dog's chiming in. You can't match that level of play when the Kings play the Utah Hockey Club or when the Flyers play San Jose. So I don't know how they really capitalize on this momentum, but they have it. And you absolutely, Lois agrees, you absolutely have 2 new media stars of American hockey in the Tkachuk brothers. So the only thing left, I have to say, is to really, you know, we lost. So you have to analyze the roster that we put together on this. And it was infuriating last night to see Chris Kreider glued to the bench in the third period. Now, maybe he was hurt. I don't believe he was, but maybe he was. But if he wasn't hurt and you benched him for basically half the game and you didn't dress Kyle Connor, who I thought had played pretty well, or you didn't have Tage Thompson on the roster, which is unforgivable to me. In a short-form tournament, goal scoring is a premium. And Tage Thompson right now, outside of Austin Matthews, is probably the best goal scorer for the Americans. You could argue Cole Caulfield. Now, I understand Caulfield not being on the roster because of the physicality of this tournament, but, you know, if you swap out Trocheck, who I know is on the roster because of his penalty killing abilities, and Kreider, and you put in Caulfield and Thompson, that's a lot of goals we left off the table. I thought our defense was great. Slavin's, definitely his play opened up a lot of people's eyes, mine included. But I don't know if this roster was assembled correctly. I mean, you have to say that. I mean, yes, we put up a lot of goals against Finland. And, I think Matthews to me seemed like he was almost injured. He seemed very low energy. He seemed like he was hurt. And, when Matthew Tkachuk can't play, he's hurt. I mean, he played last year in the finals with a broken sternum, or was it 2 years ago? So that hurt. It's not an excuse, but, it's a legitimacy of how hard he plays and how tough he is that he didn't play in the last 2 periods, essentially. So congratulations to Canada, and we'll see you next year in the Olympics.